Vermont will be in the path of totality when a solar eclipse occurs on April 8th. What is the path of totality? Where can I see the eclipse? Can you look directly at it? And what even is it? We'll answer all these questions and more on today's Across the Fence. Good afternoon, I'm Jolie Whitney. We're about 2 months away from the astronomy event of the century, and Vermont's going to have a front row seat for the total solar eclipse. From 3:26 to 3:29 p.m., the sun will be completely blocked by the moon as it passes between the sun and the earth, darkening the skies in the middle of the afternoon as if it were night. Burlington saw its last solar eclipse in 1932, so this is a once-in-a-lifetime event to be sure. To talk the total solar eclipse we're having this year, I'm joined by Anya Samsom. She's a senior at the University of Vermont studying computer science and information systems in the College of Engineering and Mathematical Science and the Honors College. Anya is also part of the Vermont Space Grant Consortium at UVM. Welcome.
Hi, thanks for having me.
We're so glad to have you. Can you walk me through what's going to happen for the total solar eclipse?
Yeah, so you've explained it pretty well. The moon is going to be traveling in between the Earth and the sun. And what's going to be happening with this total solar eclipse is the moon is going to be a lot closer to us than the sun, or than it normally is. So it's going to be kind of going in and it's going to be closer than the sun. So it's going to be kind of eclipsing the sun completely, which is pretty cool. There's also annular eclipses, which are a little less exciting, but still pretty cool. That's going to happen where the moon is a little bit farther from the Earth. So when it kind of passes through, you're going to get this ring of fire effect, but it's not going to completely cover the sun. So what's going to be happening at 3:26, as you said, is we're going to reach full totality, meaning that it's going to be completely dark outside and the sun's going to be fully covered by the moon.
And how long is the event last usually?
It's going to be like a couple of minutes for the whole totality section, but in terms of the whole eclipsing process where you have the moon kind of covering the sun gradually, that's going to take about a couple hours.
Okay, and how about if it's cloudy or rainy? Are we going to miss it altogether?
Yeah, so there are a couple different things that are going to happen. If it's going to be super cloudy and rainy, one plus is that it's actually going to be a lot darker. So it's going to look almost as if it's completely midnight instead of maybe just like sunset without the colors, which might happen if it's like a beautiful day outside. If it's really cloudy, you might miss seeing some of the stages of the eclipse because the clouds might be kind of covering the sun and the moon, but either way, you're still going to see some pretty cool things.
All right, and where's the best place to watch it?
So anywhere that the weather's great and you're in the path of totality. So it's going to be anywhere where you can kind of see the sun and it's not going to be covered by clouds if you want to see those stages, or anywhere where you're able to kind of see the sky. So even if that's in your backyard, that's going to be the best place to watch the eclipse.
Okay, we've talked path of totality. What does that mean? Why is that so significant?
Yeah, so the path of totality is where the sun is going to be completely covered by the moon. You're going to see some places that are outside the path of totality, meaning that you're not going to get a full, like, total eclipse feeling where you're completely kind of covering the sun. The path of totality is going to run basically up from Texas to Montreal and hitting Vermont above places like Middlebury and Barrie. So anywhere kind of above that line is going to be where you're going to be able to see the eclipse in totality in Vermont, meaning you're going to get those like time of complete coverage of the sun.
All right, so tons of places. Maybe if you live in Burlington and want to branch out a little, go see it somewhere else.
Yeah, you can see it anywhere above that path of totality, or in that path of totality line. So if you're anywhere above Barrie or Middlebury, you're kind of good to just watch it in your backyard if that's what you want to do.
Great, don't have to travel at all.
You don't have to move anywhere.
And to watch it, of course, you can't just look up, right?
Oh no, you have to be wearing super special eclipse glasses, and these aren't just sunglasses, they're going to be thousands of times darker and more light blocking. So you're basically just protecting your eyes from looking directly at the sun, because that's what you're doing. It's not something that you'd be doing without sunglasses on a normal day, so why do it for long periods of time on an eclipse day? You want to make sure that these glasses are ISO certified. If you look up NASA ISO certified eclipse glasses, there'll be a bunch of different places where you can buy them. So you're going to want to put on these glasses, and then if you're taking pictures or anything, you're going to want to have a special filter for your phone, any sort of camera. If you're looking through an eclipse or to a telescope to watch the eclipse, you're also going to want to have a filter on that, just making sure that your eyes are protected at all times, even if you are using your camera, so you're not, trying to get the best shot and accidentally exposing your eyes to the super bright sun.
Sure, so you can't use your glasses over the camera lens or anything?
No, you have to get these, special lenses fitted for a type of camera or a cell phone filter. Those also have to be ISO certified, so just make sure when you're looking up things online, you're buying something that has that correct number for, looking what that is, and kind of making sure that you're doing the most safe thing for the whole situation. But you're actually able to take off these glasses during the most total part of the eclipse. So if you put on your glasses and look up at the eclipse the whole time, eventually it's going to get so dark that you're not going to be able to see anything through the glasses. That's when you can take them off for a short period of time, but then as soon as you can see any kind of sliver of the sun appearing, you want to put those glasses right back on for the rest of the eclipse.
So if it's cloudy and I'm trying to catch a glimpse, should I also make sure I have these glasses?
Yeah, even if it's cloudy, you want to be wearing these glasses the whole time until it goes pitch black. Then you can take them off and look.
All right, and you went over this a little bit earlier, but just to remind our viewers, there's different kinds of solar eclipses, and this one's very unique, but there are other ones that happen pretty regularly. What makes this one different?
Yeah, so this is a total solar eclipse. You'll also get annular solar eclipses, which is, kind of how I was showing earlier, where the moon is not fully close enough to us to cover the sun in, its large state, but because the moon is going to be a lot closer, we are going to get that total solar eclipse. And we're in the path of totality, which means we will be seeing totality for the total solar eclipse. This doesn't happen very often. The last time Burlington had a total solar eclipse where we were able to see this totality was in 1932. The next one's going to be 2106, so it's going to be a while before Vermonters are able to actually stand right in their own backyards and see this awesome phenomenon.
Yeah, not a great chance we'll see the next one. So
yeah, probably not.
All right, and you spoke about the one in 1932, and there was an article on the UVM website about animals reacting to that solar eclipse back then, and we actually spoke about it a little bit before the cameras were rolling, but can you tell me about the impact on animals and dairy cows especially? Yeah,
so they did a study back in 1932 while the eclipse was happening to basically see if the animals were going to react in any, really unforeseen special way during the eclipse. What ended up happening is most animals kind of just went quiet, acted as if it was nighttime, they're kind of just seeing all the light go away and thinking, oh, it's time to go to bed. Some birds would chirp a little bit, as maybe they would do in the normal nighttime. Some dogs might get a little more rowdy, but nothing kind of extreme. So I didn't end up finding anything super compelling in that study there. But if you have, dogs, cats, any sort of pets, you shouldn't really have to be worried about the way that they're going to react. It's not going to be anything near as startling as the 4th of July fireworks. They might just even go to sleep and, settle in for the day.
Absolutely, and obviously you weren't there at the time, but your knowledge of the experience, did crickets come out? Was it fully nighttime?
There were some crickets chirping that were noted in there. So if you want to look, there's actually a bunch of different articles online about the research happening in 1932, and as you said, they were on the website, so people can look at that. It's pretty cool.
All right, and a little bit, it's around 3:30 area. That's a little bit around when kind of rush hour traffic starts. Is there any guidance for if you're behind the wheel?
Ooh, so if you're behind the wheel, I would say, make sure that you can see everything. I would really caution people to not be driving when the eclipse is actually happening. Maybe pull off to the side of the road so you're not trying to look up and see the eclipse while you're driving around. We don't want to have any sort of accidents or anything like that. So,
sure, yeah, we don't want to miss it.
Right, you don't want to miss it because you're trying to look and then, have a car accident. So if you do happen to be driving at 3:20 on April 8th, make sure that you pull over to the side of the road just for at least a little bit of time so you can kind of let the eclipse pass, watch the event of the century, and then you can get back on the road once it starts to clear up a little bit.
Sure, if your boss is upset or something,
right.
You don't understand.
Be like, it's the eclipse.
The next one isn't until...
I'm not going to see the next one in
Absolutely.
here.
That's good advice. So turn your headlights on. Make
sure it's bright enough for you to see when it starts to kind of darken,
Sure, absolutely. And since you won't be behind the wheel, what are your plans for the eclipse?
Yeah, so I'm going to be on UVM's campus. UVM is going to be hosting events, but they're only for faculty, staff, and students. So we're going to have things like Eclipse seminar series. We're going to have a keynote speaker, and then of course viewing stations. So we're going to have events on campus. There are also going to be events kind of all over the state in that path of totality. So you can look up online. I know different websites will have different lists of things that are going on, maybe live music, maybe some food trucks. So there's going to be a bunch of events kind of across the state for everyone to go to, even if they're not a UVM student or employee.
All right, and of course, like we said, if you miss this one, you've got a while to wait before the next one. What do we know about the next eclipse coming up? Yeah, so the next total solar eclipse that's going to be in Burlington and in Vermont and giving us that totality is going to be in 2106. So, we're probably not going to be here for that eclipse, but some people around now who are a little bit younger, like
really little kids might be able to see it. So that's the next total solar eclipse that's going to be in totality in Vermont. There is going to be a total solar eclipse passing through Vermont in 2026, but it's going to kind of have its path of totality around Greenland, so we're only going to be able to see a little bit of the eclipse. So it's not going to be total for us, but it will be total for people in Greenland. So we're going to have a little bit of an eclipse experience, a little taste in 2026, but yeah, the next big one like this isn't going to be until 2106, so it's going to be a while away.
Sure, yeah, but I mean, still something in a couple years in case you miss this one.
Yeah, if you miss this one. And of course, these are just eclipses that are happening in Vermont. You know, we had one a little bit ago that was kind of down in the south, a total eclipse, so you can always travel a little bit to see an eclipse. The thing that's really special about this is that it's right in Vermont.
Yeah, absolutely. You can just go to your backyard.
Right, and look at it, yeah.
Yeah, actually one of our producers upstairs said I think there was one in Alaska in like a couple years.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Yeah, in case you miss one, you want to commute for a
all the way
eclipse.
up to Alaska.
Yeah, gotta be worth it, right?
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the Vermont Space Grant Consortium and what NASA's doing in Vermont.
Yeah, so the NASA has all these space grant consortiums in all the 50 states, and then also DC and Guam and Puerto Rico. It's basically just a way for Vermonters or whatever state you're in to engage with NASA. They're kind of like academic based. There's a lot of research going on and kind of just connecting the people in that state to NASA if you want to end up working with NASA or anything like that. So we're here to put on events that kind of promote STEM engagement and kind of really open the doors to Vermonters working with NASA. So the Space Grant here in Vermont will have different kind of research fellowships and opportunities for Vermonters to do research working with NASA, which is really cool. And we also get to do fun things like put on events for this eclipse.
Great, and not to put you on the spot, I know you're about to graduate, and that can be maybe a tumultuous time for a lot of people, but do you have anything in the plans for after graduation?
So I'm job searching right now, which, you know, can be pretty stressful, but yeah, just looking to kind of land somewhere after graduation. So right now it's kind of all up in the air, but I've been looking around, so wish me good luck.
Sorry to put you on the spot with the worst question for a college senior, but I'm sure it'll work out.
Hear it all the time, so I'm used to kind of answering.
It'll work out great.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Everything you need to know about the eclipse can be found at our website, at the website on your screen. Follow the links in the menu tab for the 2024 solar eclipse. That wraps up our program for today. From the crew behind the scenes here at WCAX, I'm Jolie Whitney. Thank you for watching and have a good one.